Hey everyone, welcome back to English Vibes.
Hi there. We're so glad you're here with us today.
I'm John.
And I'm Maya. We're here to help you talk about important topics in English.
If you enjoy our videos, please hit subscribe and give us a thumbs up.
Yes, your support means the world. So today, we're discussing a very important topic.
That's right, we're talking about human rights. This is essential vocabulary for everyone.
Human rights affect every person on Earth, so it's important to understand them.
By the end of this video, you'll know how to discuss human rights in natural English.
And you'll learn the key vocabulary to express your thoughts on this topic.
Let's get started. Maya, what exactly are human rights?
Human rights are basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world.
So they're universal? They apply to everyone?
Exactly. Human rights are universal. They don't depend on nationality, gender, religion, or any other factor.
Everyone has them just because they're human?
That's right. From the moment you're born until you die, you have human rights.
What are some examples of basic human rights?
The right to life, the right to freedom, the right to education, the right to work.
The right to express your opinions?
Yes, freedom of speech is a fundamental human right.
Where do human rights come from? Who decided them?
The United Nations created the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948.
1948? That was after World War II, right?
Exactly. After seeing terrible things during the war, countries agreed to protect human rights.
What does the Universal Declaration say?
It lists 30 basic rights that all people should have.
Can you name some of them?
Article 1 says all people are born free and equal in dignity and rights.
That's powerful. What about Article 3?
Article 3 says everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security.
Liberty means freedom, right?
Yes, freedom to make choices about your own life.
What other important rights are included?
The right to education, Article 26. The right to work and fair pay, Article 23.
The right to health care?
Yes, Article 25 covers the right to a standard of living adequate for health and well-being.
What about freedom of religion?
Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion.
So you can believe what you want?
Exactly. And you can practice your religion freely or choose not to have a religion.
Now, let's talk about different categories of human rights. What are civil rights?
Civil rights are freedoms that protect you from government abuse and discrimination.
Like what?
The right to vote, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the right to a fair trial.
Freedom of assembly means people can gather peacefully?
Yes, people can meet together, protest, or organize without fear.
What about political rights?
Political rights let you participate in government, voting, running for office, joining political parties.
So democracy depends on political rights.
Absolutely. Without these rights, democracy can't exist.
What are economic rights?
Economic rights include the right to work, fair wages, safe working conditions.
The right to own property?
Yes, Article 17 says everyone has the right to own property.
What about social rights?
Social rights include education, healthcare, social security, adequate housing.
These are about living with dignity?
Exactly. Everyone deserves a decent standard of living.
Now, let's talk about children's rights. Are they different from adult rights?
Children have all the same human rights as adults, plus special protections.
Special protections? Like what?
The right to be protected from harm, exploitation, and abuse.
What's exploitation?
Exploitation means being used unfairly for someone else's benefit.
Like child labor?
Exactly. Children shouldn't be forced to work in dangerous conditions.
What other rights do children have?
The right to education, the right to play, the right to express their views.
The right to have a family?
Yes, children have the right to live with their family when possible.
What organization protects children's rights?
UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund. They work all over the world.
Now let's talk about women's rights. Why is this a special category?
Because historically, women haven't had equal rights in many societies.
What rights have women fought for?
The right to vote, the right to education, the right to work, equal pay.
When did women get the right to vote in most countries?
It varied. Some countries in the early 1900s, others much later.
Are women's rights still an issue today?
Yes, in many places, women still face discrimination and inequality.
What does gender equality mean?
It means men and women have equal rights, opportunities, and treatment.
Equal pay for equal work?
Exactly. If a man and woman do the same job, they should earn the same salary.
Now let's discuss freedom of speech. Why is this so important?
Freedom of speech allows people to express ideas without fear of punishment.
Can you say anything you want?
Not exactly. There are limits. You can't use speech to harm others.
What do you mean?
You can't make threats, spread dangerous lies, or incite violence.
So, freedom of speech has responsibilities?
Yes, with freedom comes responsibility to use it wisely.
What about freedom of the press?
The press should be free to report news without government control,
Why is that important?
because citizens need accurate information to make good decisions.
What happens when there's no freedom of press?
Governments can hide corruption, and people don't know the truth.
Now let's talk about the right to education. Is this really a human right?
Absolutely. Article 26 of the Universal Declaration says so,
Why is education considered a right?
because education empowers people. It helps them understand their other rights.
Education leads to better opportunities?
Yes, it helps people escape poverty and improve their lives.
Is education free in most countries?
Basic education should be free and compulsory according to human rights standards.
Compulsory means required?
Yes, children should be required to attend school.
What about higher education, like university?
Higher education should be accessible to everyone based on merit, not wealth.
Now let's discuss the right to healthcare. Is this controversial?
In some countries, yes, not everyone agrees healthcare is a right.
What do supporters say?
They say everyone deserves access to medical care, regardless of income.
What do opponents say?
Some argue it's too expensive, or that it's not the government's responsibility.
What does the Universal Declaration say?
Article 25 says everyone has the right to medical care.
Now let's talk about workers' rights. What are these?
Workers' rights protect people in the workplace.
Like what?
The right to safe working conditions, fair wages, reasonable working hours.
The right to form unions?
Yes, Article 23 protects the right to join trade unions.
What do unions do?
Unions represent workers and negotiate with employers for better conditions.
What about child labor? Is that a human rights issue?
Absolutely. Children shouldn't work in dangerous or harmful conditions.
Is all child work bad?
Not necessarily. Light work that doesn't harm education or health might be okay.
But exploiting children is always wrong.
Always. Children deserve to be children, to learn and play.
Now, let's discuss equality and non-discrimination. What does this mean?
It means everyone should be treated fairly, without discrimination.
What's discrimination?
Discrimination is treating someone unfairly because of their race, religion, gender, or other characteristics.
Can you give examples?
Refusing someone a job because of their race, or denying service because of religion.
What about age discrimination?
That's discrimination too, treating someone unfairly because they're too young or too old.
What's disability discrimination?
Treating people with disabilities unfairly or denying them equal access.
Buildings should be accessible to everyone?
Yes, ramps, elevators, accessible bathrooms, these help ensure equal access.
Now, let's talk about refugee rights. Who are refugees?
Refugees are people who flee their country because of war, persecution, or danger.
Do refugees have rights?
Yes, the 1951 Refugee Convention protects refugee rights.
What rights do they have?
The right to safety, the right not to be returned to danger, access to education and work.
Can countries refuse refugees?
Countries have obligations to consider asylum requests fairly.
What's asylum?
Asylum is protection given to refugees by another country.
Now, let's discuss privacy rights. Why is privacy important?
Privacy protects your personal information and personal space.
What does Article 12 say?
No one should be subjected to arbitrary interference with privacy, family, home, or correspondence.
Arbitrary means random or unfair?
Yes, the government can't invade your privacy without good reason.
What about privacy in the digital age?
This is a big challenge. Our data is collected constantly online.
Is that a human rights issue?
Many people believe so. Privacy in the digital world is becoming very important.
Now, let's talk about cultural rights. What are these?
Cultural rights protect your ability to participate in cultural life.
Like what?
The right to speak your language, practice your traditions, enjoy arts and culture.
Minority groups need these protections?
Yes, to preserve their identity and heritage.
What about Indigenous peoples' rights?
Indigenous peoples have special rights to their lands, cultures, and self-determination.
Self-determination means controlling your own affairs?
Exactly, making decisions about your own community.
Now, let's discuss human rights violations. What does this mean?
A violation is when someone's rights are denied or abused.
What are common violations?
Torture, slavery, arbitrary detention, denial of fair trial.
Arbitrary detention means being imprisoned without reason?
Yes, without charges, without trial, without legal justification.
What organizations monitor human rights?
Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the UN Human Rights Council. What do? They investigate violations, report on situations, and advocate for change.
Can individuals make a difference?
Absolutely. People can raise awareness, support organizations, contact representatives.
Now, let's talk about how to discuss human rights respectfully.
Great idea. Use phrases like, I believe, or in my opinion.
I think everyone should have access to education.
I believe healthcare is a fundamental right.
How do you disagree respectfully?
I understand your point, but I see it differently.
That's an interesting perspective, though I think.
Always acknowledge the other person's view.
What phrases help express concern?
I'm concerned about, or it worries me that.
I'm concerned about the treatment of refugees.
It worries me that children still lack access to education.
Now let's give viewers useful phrases for discussing human rights.
Basic phrases first.
Human rights are universal.
Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity.
Discrimination is wrong.
All people are created equal.
Expressing opinions.
I believe that.
In my view,
From my perspective,
it's important that
discussing violations.
this violates human rights.
People are being denied their rights.
This is a serious concern.
Action needs to be taken.
Perfect phrases. Now let's do our vocabulary review.
Yes, let's review 10 essential words from today.
First word, rights. Rights are legal or moral entitlements to have or do something.
Everyone has the right to freedom of expression.
Rights protect people and ensure fair treatment.
Next word, freedom. Freedom is the power to act, speak, or think without restraint.
Freedom of speech is essential in a democratic society.
Freedom means having choices and being able to make them.
Next, equality. Equality means the state of being equal, having the same rights and opportunities.
Gender equality means men and women have the same rights.
Equality is a core principle of human rights.
Next word, dignity. Dignity is the quality of being worthy of respect and honor.
All people should be treated with dignity.
Dignity means respecting someone's inherent worth as a human.
Next, discrimination. Discrimination is unfair treatment based on characteristics like race or gender.
Discrimination in the workplace is illegal in many countries.
Discrimination violates the principle of equality.
Next word, protection. Protection is keeping someone safe from harm or danger.
Children need special protection from exploitation.
Protection means safeguarding rights and safety.
Next, universal. Universal means applying to all cases or situations everywhere.
Human rights are universal. They belong to everyone.
Universal means without exception.
Next word, justice. Justice is fair treatment according to law and moral principles.
Everyone deserves access to justice.
Justice means fairness and accountability.
Next, violation. A violation is an action that breaks or goes against rights or laws.
Torture is a serious human rights violation.
Violations happen when rights are denied or abused.
Last word, empower. To empower means to give someone power and confidence to do something.
Education empowers people to understand and claim their rights.
Empowerment leads to positive change.
So we learned rights, freedom, equality, dignity, discrimination, protection, universal, justice, violation, and empower.
These are 10 essential words for discussing human rights.
Now, viewers, it's your turn to practice.
Write in the comments, which human right do you think is most important?
Or share, what does human rights mean to you?
We love reading your thoughtful comments.
These discussions help us all learn and grow.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hit that notification bell for more important topics.
Keep learning and keep caring about human rights.
Everyone can make a difference.
See you in the next video.
Goodbye, everyone. Stand up for rights.
Quick vocabulary review. Rights. Legal or moral entitlements. Freedom. Power to act without restraint. Equality. State of being equal. Dignity. Quality of being worthy of respect. Discrimination. Unfair treatment based on characteristics. Protection. Keeping safe from harm. Universal. Applying to everyone, everywhere. Justice. Fair treatment according to law. Violation. Action that breaks rights or laws. Empower. Give power and confidence.